Hello, how are you doing? Awake. Ouais, ça va. Travail puis d'une balle, limite comme ça. Ça. Ouais, tu veux tellement là? Ok. Ok, ok. Gotcha. Yeah. Ok. Kita ikut slow Discord mo kava meten background voilà, mon va quoi. Marie des autres à moi là. Ça veut dire le mot webcam. Ah, yeah, ok. Ok, gotcha. I guess I'll go without it for now. Parce que mon laptop travaille là que ça. Yeah. Good, good. Yeah, that should do it. Vous pensez prendre un Sunsi là? Ok, cool. Ok. Ok, ok, gotcha. We'll still in work in progress présentation là. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Ah non. Mais notre Twitchcast là, il n'est pas connecté avec Twitch, là. Les is limited à Discord, c'est ça. Et qu'il n'est pas reflété ici. Ok. Yes, quoi. Yeah. C'est 5 coups.
Hello nerds. How are you guys doing? How's the music? A little too low, too loud. Music is good. Ready for the drop? Okay, I want to see you dance. A bit low. How about that? Mike is only in the Discord, so I guess he cannot hear the music. Perfect, okay. Send some dancing emotes, Derek. Yes, here. How you doing?
Emotional damage.
What? Oh, yeah, for... Okay, okay. Sounds good, sounds good. Mike, if you want to put on your cam, and then we'll start. Let's start. We'll have you on screen if my computer doesn't crash before that. Wait, I have two of these. Yo.
Yeah, not sure if I'm gonna put on my webcam because a lot of issues right here. So
okay,
I'm just gonna be sharing my screen if that's not an issue.
No, that's not an issue. We'll try to adapt the UI. Wait,
Yeah.
Sun has some news. The view account is stuck on 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuck on 1, but people up there, that's all that matters. You guys are here. That's all that matters.
Humanity.
Let's see. Let's do something like that.
It's all about humanity.
Yep.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Awesome. So nice.
It's all about humanity.
No, I'm just gonna be drawing with all my stuff. TP, yeah, should be good enough. I can hear you on my side, bro.
Testing, here I am. What a question. Wait, is the music done? Sorry for this abrupt ending of the music. You guys can hear me? Can you hear Mike? Mike, say hi, say or scream or whatever.
Hello. Can you guys see me? Can you guys see my cursor, my fancy cursor?
Wait, yeah. We can see your fancy cursor.
That's the macOS cursor. It costs a lot.
Yeah. I'm just gonna switch scenes for really sorry for like a few seconds. I'm gonna show them that we made progress. We have the public screen here. It's not available for you really, guys, because I need to do some configuration for prod, but the prototype is working. Sorry, Mike, I guess you're not seeing that unless you have access to the Twitch link, which is publicly available. You won't be able to chat. But so approved questions are on this page. Here is how I manage these. Right, so Derek, if I approve your question now, and we go to current question, you have it there. So if I then deselect that one and select that, you would see that, which will be displayed in the overlay. All right, that's enough of my stuff and my face. Jules, whoa, why did I, my bad. One sec. There, Mike. How did the Australians? Not sure we have the answer yet, but we'll figure that out. Okay. Everyone can hear Jules in the chat if you guys can, and you can see his screen.
1 2 1 2 test.
Yeah, I think it's good. Let's wait for someone in the chat. Chat, do you hear us? Okay.
What's up?
So,
Nice.
I'll leave the floor to you now. I don't have my face anymore. We just have an indicator of who's speaking with Discord around the black area for the black header for HTMX. Other than that, we see everything on your screen now. So I'm gonna shut up now and you go ahead. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Hey guys, how you doing? So this is my first time doing actually a practice run, and the presentation is very much a work in progress, but at least you'll get a sneak peek on what is being worked on and what will be presented this Saturday. So as you already know, we'll be speaking about HTMX with a slight twist to it, where we will be also be discussing a bit about hypermedia system and also other technologies, side technologies that comes with this presentation. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Mike. I work at Livestorm as a software engineer. I'm mostly on the backend side. I used to be a full stack developer, but as life happens for everybody, I'm now a backend engineer. And that's all that I have for presentation. But as an introduction to the subject today, what is HTMX? I don't know if somebody in the chat can raise their hand if they've already heard about HTMX or not.
Checking the chat. I think you can hear me, Mike, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I've also had the Twitch chat up out,
Cool.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So at least I can see that.
Cool.
Hey, Derek says nope, never heard of HTMX.
Yeah, the chat cannot hear me, so that's cool.
Awesome, man. It's just HTMX adult version. Yeah, it is HTML, but adult version. I guess that's what you meant. Okay, cool. Anyway, so we've got 50-50%. It's safe to say that of people that know HTMX and people that does not know HTMX. So what is HTMX? So HTMX basically allows you to have access to Ajax, CSS transition, WebSocket, server-sent events, anything that has to do with asynchronous communication from the server to the client using HTML attributes. So if you've never heard about HTML attributes are no more, no less things like options that you can add on your HTML tags. And for instance, if we take the form HTML tag, you can add HTML attributes such as action, method, and so on it, as well as clause, which can be added to pretty much every HTML attribute. Okay, cool. So enough of that. So if you go to htmx.org, you'll have everything that you need there, documentation, references, and you can even have a look on GitHub on how the project has been put together. There's few ways of installing it. The most popular one is using CDN, but they kind of advise you not to use CDN, which is kind of weird, and tell you to actually download it or to use a bundler like Webpack or Vite or something else. Okay, so an example of how it is, if you can see the quick start right here, basically the script tag, as you know, will end up in your header tag, and then you have an HTML button here, and you have the hx-post, hx-swap, and every HTMX attribute, like HTML attribute, actually has this suffix, which is this prefix, sorry, which is hx-something. Okay, and we've got a bunch of them. So if we go to reference and we go just to the core attributes, you will see that there are different types of attribute for different types of action that you might want to do, basically. So things that from how do I get information from the server to how do I send information to server, and how this information get displayed back to the client. There's a key part that I'm actually out here because we're still at the introduction part, so don't you worry too much about that. And the whole summation of this presentation would be us actually making this nice I won't call it a to-do list because, you know, it's a bit too much overused as term. We'll call it a task list, which is much more fancy. So here we'll be able to enter our task, and this task list that you see just below right here will automatically refresh itself without us having to refresh the whole page, which was what we had to do before. So some of the side technologies that we will be using for this project or this presentation we'll be using Go as a main programming language on the server side, and we will be using Temple, which is a templating engine for Go. It's way much nicer to work with than the default one in the standard library. We'll also be using Tailwind CSS, and one of the major plugins that we'll be using in Tailwind CSS will be Daisy UI, which allows us to have access to a component library built upon Tailwind for us not to have to write a lot of classes to have those juicy, nice styles. So, okay. I'm gonna track back to HTMX now and give you a visual representation of how things gonna work out. Yeah, it's gonna be very juicy. Don't worry about that. Okay, so we have our client and we have our server, and we're gonna go way back in time. Like the year is 1994. Okay, so the way that it used to work before is like the client here, we will know it as being our browser also. So for the client to get anything from the server, first it has to do a request, and usually it would be in the form of a TCP or GET request or a POST request. So let's call it just request as a generic, and then we'll get back a response. And the response that we will get usually would be a full HTML page. And anything that we would do, any action that is being done client side would actually have us do this request response kind of interaction with the server. and the response most of the time, I guess, would be 90% of the time would be HTML or would be any other type of asset that we would be requesting, like a CSS file or a JavaScript file and so on. So we fast forward in the future and we have a new stuff that appeared, which is jQuery. And what jQuery does, it allowed us to basically supercharge Ajax, essentially, which allows us to do asynchronous call client side, from the client side to the server side. So I'm not going to go in too much detail here because we already know about that. We fast forward a little bit more forward and we start having our dear friends, the frameworks. And yes, everybody knows about the framework: Angular, Vue, React. One of the top three, we've got Solid.js and so on. But those frameworks really did not define how we actually did the communication with the server side. But what most of the framework had was something that we would famously call server-side rendering. They all had some sort of a subset of their, I said React. They would have a subset of their framework dedicated to server-side rendering. And what I mean by server-side rendering, it goes back to the good old days where everything was being rendered server-side. But that's not the only way that we used to do things, because if you weren't really into server-side rendering, okay, cool. So if you weren't really into server-side rendering, there was another thing that you could do, was to actually send back JSON data to the client. So that's what is most popularly being done today, is like the client does some sort of a request and the server send back a response, and that response is usually in a JSON format or in any other serialization format that is popular today. Sometimes it could be as crazy as being in bytes. Bytes, as we know, is from protobuf, which is one of the popular ways also to communicate back to the client. So let's forget about the byte serialization and only about the JSON serialization. So what happened here is when you made a request to the server would just send you data. And it was a job of the client to actually, through the templating engine that was part of a framework, or if you want to do it by hand or using jQuery, was to basically assemble everything together using a pre-made template and then spit it out back to the browser. So that's how it used to be made. To be done. But now with HTMX, zooming out a bit, something really cool happens now. So we are going back to the good old days where we can send a request, we can get back a response, but now instead of getting a full HTML page, what we get is we get a partial one. And that partial HTML page is only the part of the website that we want to be updated, or the web page. So let's say that we've got this cool fancy web page, we've got a header, and we've got some content pretty well laid out here and there and so on. So with HTMX, the server is able to render the HTML of a specific portion of a page and then sending back the client. And this can be independent of the other component that lives right here. Yeah, you better not react to that. So here we go. So that's the whole basis of how HTMX works. So you make a request, and instead of getting back a full HTML page, you get back just partial bits or small bits of HTML. And it is up to the client, using the HTMX JavaScript library that has been loaded in the browser, to decide how to actually place and where to actually place the content that was received from the server. And looking at our task list web app that we have right here, so the way that it works is basically we will split this web app into two parts. The first part being a form with a single input box. And on that input box, what we need to do is to actually listen for an event or for a trigger to send information to the server. But instead of the server sending back a status to tell us that the task has been added or created, we send back some HTML. And the HTML that we send back is essentially the HTML of the input box that you see right here. So essentially, if I press enter and there's no task in it, this request was sent to the server and back to the client, but what was sent back to the client was actually HTML. And to show you how this is happening behind the scene, if I inspect the page, I go to the network tab and I don't type in anything, you will see that there is an AJAX request that was made, and the response that we received back was essentially HTML. So as we can see right here, this is the HTML for the form input right here. And if we type in something and we press enter, again, if we look at it, same stuff. This is what we received back, which is the HTML, and that got swapped out in place of the form. And this might not make a lot of sense for now, but when we will go into the code, you'll be able to have a proper vision of how everything is working out. So I'm just gonna show you my VS Code right here. Everybody can see that. Is it better now?
To transition. Chat, let us know when the font size is all right. Don't hesitate to ask us to zoom. It's good to me. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Let's carry on.
Cool. Yeah. So a little bit of Go programming so that you guys can know how everything is put together. So essentially what we have here is the entry point for a Go program, which starts with the function main. We are calling a function run, which just returns an error. And on that function run, we are accepting some flags. If you've ever run a CLI command, a CLI application, you have the ability to add flags, to specify flags and also arguments. In this case, we're able to specify two flags, which is it production or not, and to specify the address of the HTTP server, which is being run behind the scene. Here we are just initializing the logger, nothing really special here, it's just some Go specific stuff. The Go Fake-It library that is being used right here is to basically generate fake data. As you can see on the application before, we had some fake information over there. And what I'm doing right here is I'm creating a new task manager. If we go to task.go, that is a structure of a task. I'm going a bit fast here because it's not super relevant to what we're going to be discussing later on. So the task is we have an ID that is a UID. We've got a content, which is just a string, and a created add and a done add, because we have the ability to say when a task has been done or not. And if there's any error while we are seeding those three tasks, we just return those error and it gets logged all the way up here. And then we start our HTTP server, and that's it. Basically, that's all there is to it. And in the HTTP server, this is where most of the bulk of the work is being done when it comes to routing. So we are creating a multiplexer right here, a routing multiplexer, which allows us to specify different handler func essentially for different routes. So if you go to a route with a specific methods, this is how it is being handled. Like this method is handling it, or this function is handling it. So for instance, if we go to just / using the get method, what's happening behind the scene is the function handle index is being called. And the function handle index is being called with the task manager as an input argument, and that And that task manager has some few methods on it, and some of those methods are basically to add a task, to list all the tasks that we have that is not done, and to mark a task as done, and as you saw before, to basically seed a bunch of tasks so that we've got some stuff to work with. And we have this package. In Go, we have the concept of packages. Packages are basically like small libraries inside of your application. And this package right here gives us access to some templates that has already been defined ahead of time. Right here, we have one which is called the index page, which takes a list of tasks, and then we render that back to the client. The way that request comes into Go basically is through various Go routine, and each Go routine is being handled by an HTTP server, the one that you can see right here. And this HTTP server has already registered all those handler func through the multiplexer that has been defined right here, which we call mux. And as a request comes in, it calls in one of those functions right here, either handle index, handle add task, and in the handle index, we get access to two argument, which is the response writer and the HTTP request. The response writer, as you can guess already by the name, allows us to write back a response to the client, and the HTTP request basically holds all the information about the request that just came in. So basically what we are doing with render is basically we are rendering back using that response writer. So as we are rendering the template, we are also sending it back to the client. So this is how it's all laid out. I will go into much more details essentially on Saturday, but you got an idea of how it is laid out. I will share the GitHub link afterward, after this practice run, so that you guys can have a look at it and can also send me your feedback. Okay, so what interests us? So let's look at the index template. So index template is very basic. It's essentially the way that template works is you have HTML, and inside of HTML you're able to have Go code essentially. I hope I'm not going too fast, because I know that we might be running out of time. I want to leave some time for Sun to do his practice run.
Oh, don't worry. We have time. We have the time. So if you want to take more time, chat. Let us know how we're doing. Are we going too fast, or is it all right? Just let us know. Maybe we can wait a few seconds for that.
Yep, sure.
But yeah, so far so good. This is because it is clean, and I've seen a little bit of the temple, TMPL. I didn't realize that it's like a function, but it's not a func, it's a temple. It's interesting, and the syntax is kind of neat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's basically supercharging Go as a language. So it's underneath it. It has a lot of resemblance to Go, and Go being a simple programming language, it kind of feels nice to work with, to be honest. I mean, if you're a Go developer, working with Temple almost feels like it goes hand in hand.
It seems like native to the language. Okay, we got some feedback from Sun. Let's maybe not get into the details. According to Sun, maybe not dive much into that. I would say it depends on your intention with that presentation. But we'll get back to the feedback after the end of your presentation. But just a point, let's say, it depends. If you want to get into the details and make it like a HTML and Go, fine. If it's mostly about HTMX, then yeah, I would agree with Sun. Maybe we don't need all the details about the Go part. But it's going to be up to you ultimately. All right, go ahead, carry on.
Sounds perfect, because that's exactly what I was thinking about, is how much do we dive on the Go part. And Go being just a side technology, in this whole presentation, and HTMX being the main star of it.
Yeah.
And the audience being mostly front-end developers, Go is just a tool as any other tool, and we shouldn't give it that much importance that I'm giving it right now. But I'm gonna be focusing more on the template side because that's where the HTML is written. So I guess that will relate more to front-end developers. But thanks for the feedback, son. So yeah, so the index page, as we can see right here, you import two components, which is the task input and the task list component. And in the task input component, you can see that we have the form that we saw previously that was being sent back to the client or to the browser. I'm gonna try to open it a bit more. Here we go. So as you can see right here, we have our HTMX attributes. So we have the hx-post, and in the hx-post, we tell it like where to make the AJAX request. Is essentially, and what we're telling it right here is make the AJAX request to /task, and it will automatically add the method post to it. It already does that because we've already specified it right here. We have the hx swap. Hx swap tells which swap strategy to use when we are basically replacing content in the DOM. And here we're telling it to replace the outer HTML, and this is the outer HTML that we want to replace. So basically, we're going to replace the whole thing here. And the rest reads a little bit way easier if you've ever saw React code where we use curly braces, class and everything like that, class name. So I guess you're going to find your marks here, but there's a few temple specific things as well as some Go specific code right here. So what happens behind the scene is using a special command, basically generating Go code from this template that you're seeing right here. And you don't have to worry about that part. So if we go back to our handler to show you what's going on the service side very quickly. So when we are adding a task, essentially what I'm doing is I'm reading form value that I received, which is task, which is basically this input box that you see right here. If the form is empty, what I'm doing back is I'm re-rendering the task input component, but with an error at this point. As you can see right here, the task input component accept an ERR, which is a string. In this case, it is short for error. And same right here, if while adding the task to the manager, I've run into some errors. Same here, I'm re-rendering it with the ERR and I'm sending it back. If there hasn't been any error, I don't render any error and I just send back the component to the client. So if we go back to our code right here, I'm just gonna clear this. I'm gonna trigger the first condition, which is I don't have any content. As you can see right here, we are sending back this form, and if we look a little bit closer, you should see the label text error, which is please input a task. I'm just gonna zoom in a bit so that everybody can see that. There we go. So that's it right here. Please input task, and if we go into the template, that's the condition right here that has been triggered while rendering the template. Is it labeled text error? And there's a second part to that presentation, Cedric. I won't go too much into it, which is basically after we've basically sent or added a task successfully to trigger a refresh of the task list, essentially. So basically getting the information, like have the client itself, the browser itself, go and fetch the task list. And the way that it does it is using hx-get/task, but there needs to, as an exercise, we need to add a trigger here, and that would be more of a live coding session, essentially, where we need to find the proper HTMX attribute to add to basically trigger the hx-get that we have right here that will call this endpoint, which is the handle list task, which is being handled by the handle list task function. So
sounds good.
So I saw that we got a question. The classes are being sent over the wire. How does a Tailwind compiler cater for new classes in prod? Well, essentially, the way that Tailwind is being set up, or the whole project is being set up currently, is it would speak more if I show the Tailwind config.
Mike, if you want, you can keep that for the end. The question has been recorded, so
Okay.
yeah, we can get back to that if we feel that the question is, how can I say, is relevant to like the immediate setup for them to understand what's going on. Then we can take it in situ, else we can keep it for after the presentation, essentially.
Okay.
So it doesn't break your flow too much. Yeah.
Oh, no problem, because like I said, I've already ended here because part two of the presentation is still being worked on, and because the code base is not yet ready for that live coding part, essentially. So there still need to be some stuff to be done. So that's why I was taking the question right now. Sorry, I didn't mention that.
No worries. Let me try to use the second. Thanks, chat. I did that all that without the sound. Apply transparency to the audio instead of the video. Yeah, kind of. Still figuring out some of the new scenes that we have, but you can hear me now, right? Okay, if I turn off studio mode, so I can uncrop it like this, it like that. I don't know if it looks decent or what. Back to studio mode. Good to go. Okay, Mike, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Oh, but you cannot see the current question.
I can see it. I've had to open Twitch, but I'm able to follow
okay. You see it on Twitch. All right. So yeah, the question, let me read it to you. Anyways, the classes are being sent OTW, out to the wire. Not sure what that one means. How does the Tailwind compiler cater for new classes in prod? Ooh, interesting.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just to answer to that question is, if we look at how the project is being set up so far, is I'm using the Tailwind compiler to compile the CSS ahead of time. So basically everything gets compiled. And the way that it does is I'm watching over the temple right here, which is the temple templates essentially. And this is where I'm getting all of my classes, even those that are hidden behind a condition and everything like that. Exactly. I just read the temple. I'm not even reading the Go generated pod, because the Go generated pod depends on the temple file itself. It didn't used to be that. It used to be something different, but now it works like this for some reason. So yeah, I'm just reading the temple directly, and then this way, even if I have some hard condition like if, basically that would be the equivalent in view of something like if or something like that, I would still generate the Tailwind CSS with all the classes, everything that appears inside of my temple. And then in my main, everything gets embedded inside of the binary itself. So that's one way of doing it in Go, is using Go embed, and everything inside of the directory assets disk where our app.css reside is being bundled there. So all the CSS that you see inside of any of those temple file, they are all being generated inside of app CSS. And the terminal, or the command that is doing that is, it would be much better if I open my make file and do it like this. Yep. And here we go. This is what I'm using right here, which is npx tailwind css. I'm giving it the input file, which is tailwind.css, which is this one, which all was fancy Tailwind's directives essentially. And then the output would be to app css, and I'm just watching over it for development sake. Okay, cool.
Very nice.
That's it.
Thanks, Mike. When I see this code so beautiful, so simple, I'm like, hey, maybe it's time I learn Go. I'll find some time this year. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I think I had a question mid-presentation, but I forgot. So maybe I'll get back to it when I have it. But chat, we can let you like a minute more if any question pops up. Meanwhile, Jules, what are the updates on your end? So what do you do? Maybe you're working on some personal project, some open source project that you would like to share with us, anything like that?
Actually, I haven't been working a lot on personal project lately, but I have been looking forward to Go 1.22. I don't know if you guys know about it, but we've got a new release of Go, and with that new release of Go, we've got a fancy thing called we've got an enhanced HTTP router, because in Go before we did not have an HTTP router that was able to actually match over some different patterns, especially the method one. So as you saw before, I was using a multiplexer. We call it mux that handle func, and that handle func was able to accept a pattern that included also the HTTP method. We couldn't do that before. The pattern that we were able to specify was very simplified, but now we can have something that is much more powerful. And this raises the question, like, should you still be using your third-party Go routing library, or should you now be using the standard library one because it now has support for it? And that's something that I have been exploring lately, and the project that has been helping me explore it is basically the demo that I'm working on currently for the content coders, where I'm actually trying out the this new enhanced router essentially from the Go team, and actually seeing what are the limits and if it works nice and everything like that. So far it has been so good. So far it has been great. It has been a breath of fresh air because, you know, it's one less dependency, like third-party dependency that you have to rely on. Being able to just work with the standard library makes things way nicer. And the other thing that I've been exploring was the structured logging support that has now been added to the standard library. That's something that we didn't have also. It was weird because how can you log stuff without having a proper structured logger? Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to specify metadata with your logs and things like that. And it was crazy that we didn't have that support. Same thing here, we had to rely on third-party libraries like Zap, Logrus, and so on. But now everything has been super well made with slog or slug, how they call it in the standard library. And also, again, something that I'm exploring with that project, that demo project essentially, is those are all new frontiers for me. HTMX also is kind of a new frontier since I'm not really a front-end developer. It's not something that I work with every day. So being able to see the progress of this technology that has been getting a lot of traction lately. I guess you've seen a lot of tech influencers speaking about HTMX this, HTMX that.
Yeah.
So it gives me a chance and gives me an excuse to actually mess with things.
That's really cool. And I feel like if we go back to Go for a second, I think it's a language that is going in a very interesting direction. I know that the community had the habit of saying like, use the standard library, you can build everything from there, you just need to learn the good web patterns and all that, and development patterns in general, let's say. Now they're taking it a notch further with this router you mentioned, the logging as well. And I think there was something else that slipped my mind, maybe a few months ago. But yeah, Go is becoming more and more interesting. About Temple, was that in the V1 or was that added after a few minor versions?
You mean in Go?
Yeah, in Go, the Temple.
Actually, Temple is a third-party tool or a third-party library to Go. We do have a templating engine in Go that is very powerful, but I've learned that when doing presentation using the templating engine from the standard library, it can be a little bit confusing because it's not how we are used to using a templating engine, especially if you come from Vue, React, or Angular, or Solid.js, or Svelte, whatever. It's very different. Like, it has a very weird syntax. Even for Go developers, we are like, okay, that's really pushing it far. But that's why I went for Temple here. And the cool thing with Temple is like, I still has, as you know, Go is a static type language. So we don't have dynamic types. We do have an empty interface or any type. You know, it's like bailing out of the type system itself. But the cool thing is with Temple, I can retain this type information of my variables, which is very cool. Because using other libraries or over templating engine, essentially, when I pass in a variable, I pass in a type. If it is a string, if it is an int, at the end of the day, when I get into the templating side of stuff, I don't know, because I lose this information. And when I lose this information, it can bring a lot of errors. Like a lot of typos can happen. Like you can think that, oh, it was an int, but actually it is a string. You're trying to use a function on it and it doesn't work, and you run into some runtime issues with your template as it is being rendered. But yeah, you get a lot of safety that comes with knowing which type it is, essentially. And the compiler and your ID get to help you alongside, because they get this information, they know which type it is, so can help you from making less and less mistake. Yeah, your mind is a compiler. We are no more living in those days.
And once saw a colleague who was staring at his screen for like 15 minutes or more, talked to him and he said, yeah, I'm compiling in my head. Yeah, he was writing JavaScript. But yeah, those days are over, kind of. But
Yeah, exactly.
last question about Go. I know the presentation is about HTMX, but I think I have one with regards to HTMX. But for Go, do you see things like Temple being integrated in the language down the road? A bit like for the front end for the browser, stuff from jQuery and things like these were then put it to the language.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The way that Go works is before something gets added to the language, it goes through a proposal, and I'm pretty sure that there was a proposal made for something similar as that. Like, yeah, can we get a proper templating engine other than the one that we have in the standard library? And that proposal got shut down essentially by the community or the Go team. So it's kind of hard for things to end inside of the language. It's very hard, even to enhance what has already been there. It is very hard because Go has this Go 1 compatibility promise, which is basically like if you wrote a program in Go 1.0, it should still compile down the road. Like it should still compile in Go 1.22, where we are right now. So if you go on YouTube, you watch a tutorial when Go was released, it should still work today. It should still be very much relevant. And that's what brings a lot of challenges to the Go team and to the communities. How do you add things while still being backward compatible and not into conflict with other tooling? And that's one thing that Go has in how do I say that? That's one thing that I love about Go is being a simple language. So you don't have a lot of ways to do things in Go. It's either you have only one and that one way of doing things. And if we start adding it a different templating engine, essentially, it won't work out. So the only option is to enhance the previous one, but the previous one is already going into a different direction from what Temple is going. Because Temple is aiming more towards something which is generating code, which is code generation. And usually this never lands in the standard library. So
yeah, all that makes sense. And also about backwards compatibility, from my point of view, it's version 1.2, 22, 23, 24, whatever. It's still a minor version, so it should still compile any minor version of the language, essentially. So yeah, and Sun is asking about Go 2.x.
They actually had we just had to answer to some question. We just had a conference, a Go conference, and basically, if I remember well, it was one of the founders of Go, one of the people in the Go team that said like we will never have a Go 2.
Interesting. Let's revisit that in 10 years.
Yeah, so they said like because Go is being used in so many places, they didn't want to get the same episode as Python 2 going to Python 3, where there was basically a I guess we all know the story here. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they don't want that history to repeat with Go. So that's why they are staying with Go 1 and they're doing all their best to actually improve on the standard library without adding bloat and still making it backward compatible. This is a crazy challenge, to be honest with you, but we are very happy that Go has been improving a lot since Go 1.7. We have seen a lot of big improvement. We've also got support for generics for some
nice
bit about Go, things that we didn't have in Go at the very beginning. If I remember well, when Go was released back in 2011, the first request that came out was for generics, and we got it only a few years ago. So
yeah,
this kind of tells you how careful the Go team is treading, essentially.
So
they're being very, very careful.
It seems like they're trying to have something very backwards compatible. Like it feels like they're almost writing code for the browser, if that makes sense. They're trying to not to break anything. But the good thing for Go is I think they could take lessons from JavaScript's history and be very careful about what you add into the language, because once it's there and you promise backwards compatibility, well, you can't take it out. So we have a few APIs we wished we could change in JavaScript, but
Exactly.
it's not gonna happen. Yeah, very cool. Okay, final question, at least from me, about HTMX. I kind of remembered my question. In your example, you show that you just hit enter and you send that, even if you have nothing in the input box, you send that to the server and the server does everything. In an actual production app with HTMX, I know you said you don't use it in prod and all that, but if you were to do that, would you still do everything on the client, send everything to the server, or would you have some kind of minimal validation with JavaScript on the front end?
That's a very good question. In one of my previous presentation about HTMX, I guess it was in Developers Festival. I was it's on my GitHub. It's called Chat Demo. You will see there I'm trying to strike that balance between what needs to be on the server side, like what needs to be done on the server side, and what needs to be done on the client side. And to do that, if you don't want to have a build system behind the scene, this is what I'm trying to achieve here, is not having a bundler or even Fit or anything like that. So to do that, I was using Alpine.js. So Alpine.js will take care of anything that's related to the client side, which includes also validation and things like that. And anything that really needs to be done on the server side was being handled then through by the server and returned back through HTMX. Yes, I guess I guess some of the front-end developers already know about Alpine.js, but Alpine.js is basically a stripped-down version of Vue, if you can think of it this way. Okay. Essentially,
I didn't even know that. Oh yeah, in the API it uses it's kind of similar. Funny story. I think front-end there's more like back-end developers than front-end developers that would know Alpine.js, because most back-end developers, I guess, would look for very light solutions, whereas front-end developers, like professional ones, tend to build robust web apps with a lot of interaction, a lot of reactivity, which is where Alpine.js wouldn't work. But maybe there's the branch in front end, which is website development, if that makes sense, or creative front end developers that need some light stuff to do very powerful animation and all that. So that would fit the use case. But yeah, my category of front end web app developer, I think most of us have never used, or at least not professionally, used Alpine.js. Yeah, we write jQuery. Exactly. Robust.
Yeah, it's not a joke, but jQuery is quite robust if you do it well.
jQuery, it's actually robust because it's not. That one is actually a library. You can write pure JavaScript code and still use some of jQuery. And yeah, it's really robust because it has years of testing and all of that. And if you want, you can read the source code of jQuery and get some very nice patterns in there. So that's going to be very interesting. But yeah, I was thinking today that jQuery and also Bootstrap, which we don't talk about a lot, I think Bootstrap influenced somehow Flex and Grid. I think Flex wasn't there yet when we had the first Bootstrap. But yeah, those are the things we don't like to use, we love to hate, but I love that they have existed. If that makes sense.
Yep. And just to come back to the whole thing of using Alpine.js, using things like HTMX and so on, is me being a Go developer, we've always got this methodology of always starting small and going big afterward. So we kind of bring that to our front-end experience. If we ever do full stack, for example, we won't start by reaching out for a full blown framework like Vue or something like that. We will try to do things as minimal as possible from the very get-go. And then if ever we need something like Vue, then we will go for something like Vue and Angular and so on, because it's all about using the right tool for the right job. And that's something that I've learned from my years of, working with technologies, because the more complex a tool for the job that you have to do, you need to realize that the more complex the maintenance will become afterward. So using simpler tools at the very beginning that fits what you want basically makes life much easier on the long run.
I'll add a caveat to that. This, Mike, is when you already have a very precise idea of what you're going to build. So that's mostly like a professional project in most cases. When you're a hobbyist, I've seen that many times in my case. I've seen that last week, I think, on stream. So let's take the example I've seen on stream. A guy wanted to build something seemingly very simple, but there was some like iteration, props parsing and all that. He started with Astro and quickly hit a wall. Well, yeah, of course, skill issues, not knowing exactly the limitation of raw Astro components. But then he had to move to, like, if he wanted to include Svelte and all that. And yeah, he got frustrated and all that. Long story short, he's a React first developer, so he moved to React. And I think the important thing is, when you want to start with something very simple, you have to plan very well, get a very realistic view of what, no pun intended, of what you're gonna build, what kind of complexity you're gonna have, where this complexity will be, mostly on the front end or mostly on the back end, and then you pick your tool, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's not like you cannot use Alpine.js or HTMX to do big projects. I mean, it's already being done. A lot of projects are actually migrating from React and going to HTMX and Alpine.js as a combo. There's even a lot of talk or buzz in the Go sphere about new stacks that revolves around Temple and HTMX essentially. There's a popular Go tech YouTuber called Anthony Gigi that's actually working on several projects, like big production project using this stack. And I guess it all lies on the team that, like, if you're doing software engineering, which basically englobes a lot of people, it all depends, like if you're working in a company setup and blah 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 blah, it all depends on what your teammates are used to. Like if you've got 99 people like working with React, I mean, you're basically going to go down the React path, because it makes life much easier for everybody, because you don't want to be retraining everybody in a new technology or something like that. And like you said, which is very important, is a whole planning phase, which is very, very, very important. If you know that you're going to be dealing with a project that's going to grow in a year or two, it is best to actually use the right tool that you will be needing in a year or two. But being very careful there that it might really turn into a Yagni situation where you ain't gonna need it situation. Like you will never need it. So it's always a hard thing to balance. It's always hard to know which technology to use at the very, very, very beginning. But I guess for me, what I think is very important, like if you're building a product that you would need investors on very quickly, you would need to get to market very fast, use a tool that will get you to market super fast. That's what is important. Like get to market super fast, get your customer base, because at the end of the day, your customers doesn't really care what's on the back end, what's in the browser, they don't care about the framework or anything like that. They just want to have the product in hand and have a good experience with it. So any tool that gives them a good experience, that allows you to bootstrap it ASAP, good. And then you can spend some time afterward refactoring things, even how annoying it is, but at least you know you've got some revenue that is coming in your pocket to do that refactoring part.
Yeah, that's a super interesting conversation, which we should have on stream, maybe with other guests as well, because if you're building a project for yourself, you can rebuild it with all the stacks that you want. If you're building a long-term company that already has the plan and all that, you might want to choose carefully from the get-go. But if you're actually bootstrapping a startup, do with whatever the current team knows best, run with that, do something dirty that works and is decent and presentable and all that. Once you have the investment, now you can see if you want to rebuild or do use what a CTO used recently, a strangler pattern. You keep what's existing and you build around it with better structure and all that, and you progressively replace it. But that's never an easy thing to do anyways. But Mike, thanks a lot for the presentation and for this conversation. Any final word before we move to the next presenter?
Nothing. It was really great to have this practice run, allowed me to actually find some places where I can improve. And thank you very much to have me on the stage.
Thanks, Mike. See you in the chat maybe, and see you definitely Saturday. Thanks, man.
Yes. See you guys Saturday in person. Bye.
Bye. Okay, let's transition to the normal screen. Let me tidy up. I'll be with you in a second. Yay, we have claps for you, Mike. I don't know if you see this, but yeah, that's really cool. We have claps for you. Yeah, let me clap as well. Well, if I can type. Clap for Mike. Does it work? No, it doesn't work if I do it like this. Just do clap like this. And it works. Doesn't it work? I don't know. This bot is picky, I guess. But yeah. Alright. Let's go for a quick water break. For me, at least. You know, I need to refill that bottle. And then I'll be back. Where is my OBS? Okay, I need to minimize Discord. Okay. I'll leave you with the beautiful be right back screen. I need to update that. See you in a second. Oh, wait. Some music? Yeah. Some music. Let's restart that song. There's some music. See you in a minute. I see dancing emotes. I'm super happy. Keep going. We'll finish this song. Hey, Mike. Oh, you do. Cool, very cool, very cool. Is the song over? Is the song over? Where is Spotify? Yeah, the song is over. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. So that was Mike. Let me show you on the front page. It's meetup 50, I think. Let's have the chat. Where is my... Okay, my chat is here. Good. So that was Mike. He's presenting this Saturday. We're hoping by end of year or something. I don't know if we have timelines soon, but we're hoping to at some point be able to record the sessions, maybe even live stream them. So he's going to present this. Oh, import htmx.org, which we had a preview of, at least the first part. Hello, dated from when Twitch started, I guess. Was it Twitch at the time or was it just in TV? That's the biggest question. So we won't have Kasarajan tonight, unfortunately. We had Derek last Thursday, and soon we'll have Sandeep, Mr. Sunshine. So Mr. Sunshine is going to talk about front-end news and updates. So that's really cool. I thought it was like the intro of the meetup, but maybe it's something else because Sun wanted to do a practice run. So Sun, would you like to join the Discord audio? Wait, I think you're in. Yeah, you're there already. Are you sharing your screen? You've popped out the player.
Nope, I'm sharing my camera right now.
Wait. Oh, there. Okay, I see you. 1 second. I'm gonna put you on stream. Wait, move that up. Okay, we can see you here, but I'm gonna change the scene.
Maybe we put it a bit small next to you. Okay. I will share my screen next so it will get smaller. Yeah, so this week was mostly preparing the front-end meetup. And as you know, we were building some things for the OSVP mechanism. So that was pretty cool. I think we have something ready for Saturday, which is the attendance verification. So people, when they arrive at the meetup, will have a QR code if they have OSVP, and then that QR code can be scanned by someone on the organizing team, and that will actually confirm that they have attended the meetup. So they will get like a verified badge, and that badge we can later use to show on their profile, or we can make it look something more official that they actually attended, because anyone can RSVP does not mean that they really attended. So this will unlock a lot of possibilities, like attendee profile pages where you can show which meetup you attended, stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's going to be nice. It's just first step towards building more engagement. And there's also another project where we are building the ticket system, where when you RSVP, you get a ticket for the meetup. And I have I think that's being built on frontend.mu dash ticket or BA, something like that. I forgot the name, but it's being built in the open. And yeah, It's I will showcase it maybe Saturday. I'm not sure, but it should be nice. At least we know what we want. I think you saw the Vercel conf announcement with the elastic ticket, which was pretty cool.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, it's part of my presentation, so you will see
Okay,
it.
nice.
Maybe I can start sharing my screen.
Yeah, sure. Over to you. I will hide my face.
All right, I'll let you configure
you can
the
still
screens.
see me, and we have you in tiny here.
Okay, perfect.
Top right corner. Perfect. Let me check with the chat. Are we all good? Oh, we have someone giving you a crown or something from Derek. Yeah,
Thanks,
chat.
Derek.
Chat. Type 1 in the chat if we're all good.
But actually, nobody answered my question. How did the Australians send a probe to the sun?
Yeah, we don't know that. Should we ask Gemini? Derek says we're all good. Like everyone failed that question.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you, son.
So I'm zooming in a bit so that everyone can see. All right. So before I start, this is something else we are working on. I think most of you saw it, but I drew up this this thing that I think we should build so that we can stream the meetups and record them, and also have live audio in the place we are having the meetup. So this is an idea, and I'm probably going to look for sponsors to get some equipment to make this happen. So instead of having to go and explain to every company what I'm trying to do, I thought it's better to have some kind of RFC and then iterate on that. So yeah, if anyone knows audio engineers, please ask them to read it, and if there's something stupid going on here, let us know. I already have a device that Neil suggested, that one device that does a lot of this. So that's interesting. Right. Is my audio okay? Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you, but it's cracking a little bit on my end. I don't know in the chat if they hear the same or if the sound is clear on their end.
Let me check. Yeah, the input device is correct on my end. So I'm waiting for chat to reply. One means not good or good.
I guess it means good. Yeah, but try to keep speaking. Maybe it got better.
Right. I will speak in the mic. Maybe it's better. Okay, so for my presentation, I actually have the intro and the front-end news section, which are two separate presentations, two separate stuff. But usually I do the front-end news in 3 minutes, but this is like an actual presentation with a lot of stuff, so it will be separate. So here is my presentation. I think you can all see it now. And so I will do the intro and then I will do the news part.
Sure, go ahead.
And let me know if there's any feedback even for the intro, because I think it can be improved a lot. So welcome everyone to the February meetup. So because we won't be in February anymore when the meetup happens, so I changed the name to the Eleanor meetup, because that's why it's happening today. So welcome everyone. You can take pictures and put it here. This link is already updated, so you can use that. And then I will introduce. So who are we? or why do we organize meetups? So we are developers. We are very passionate about frontend. We want to learn more, and we want to share what we have learned and how the idea is challenged. So this is mostly the biggest motivation behind the user group. And also we have a goal is to improve the level of front-end development in Mauritius. That's a very generic goal, and most of the things that we do in the community is towards this goal. So be it work on the website or organize the meetups or do training. That's the aim that we have. So here are some pictures of our previous meetups. We actually hosted one meetup at the beach in November last year. That was our last meetup, which was pretty cool. You can see Alex here speaking to a very attentive audience. It was a really nice day, and in terms of logistic, I don't think it could have gone any better. We used some screen sharing technology to make everyone see the presentations without needing a projector. So you can see a lot of laptops. So the presenter's screen is reflected on all the laptops, even the phones, and then they can speak and everyone can follow along. It was a pretty cool setup. Some other meetup. This is at MDX, which we hope we will do another meetup soon there. We are in talks for some very special things at MDX, so hopefully soon. Here's Mike, and of course we have our website frontend.mu, which you have all seen because you must have used it to RSVP to this meetup. We have our Discord channel where we post updates, so you can ask questions or have discussions about new fun stuff in frontend. LinkedIn is where we post updates to new events, and Instagram is for announcements and pictures of events that have already happened, and for memes. So I think I haven't introduced myself yet, so maybe I should change the order of this. So I'm Sandeep. I'm a senior front-end engineer at Livestorm. I build user interfaces as my full-time job, and here's Kushal. Kushal is actually not at Publicis anymore, so I need to update this. He's a front-end engineer at Ceridian, starting Monday. So he won't be there yet. So we will see. Maybe I will put au chômage as title.
Free agent.
Yeah, defaults, correct. So yeah, we organize the meetups. I usually run the intro and the content and contact the speakers. Kushal usually deals with all of the attendees. You must have received the message from him. He also deals with the sponsors to conduct all the meetings, find new sponsors. So a big thanks to him. There was a lot of work to do when we had to postpone the meetup. You all had to be contacted, messaged, and informed that we were postponing it. And then we also contact you to confirm that you're coming. So all of this is being done in the background by him, and it's a lot of work to do. So a big shout out to him. So today's audience. So this is the chart from last meetup. So this needs to be updated. Wrong information here. Yeah, we will have. We are today at SDWorks, and I don't know yet what I will say on them because I don't know what they do. So I will find out and I will say some nice things during the meetup. And I think I have another slide for them where they can explain about their company, etc. So a big shout out to them for hosting us and providing lunch today. So we still have open slots for the next meetups. So if you want to host us in March or April, please reach out. We don't have a location yet. For May, we do have one, and for July as well. So this is a redundant screen. Need to get rid of that. And also, I also give front-end courses I need to find a better way to phrase this. But yeah, I started up code.mu to train people into getting better at front-end development. So if you're interested in getting better or improving your level of front-end development, please reach out to me or Kushal. The next batch is starting actually next Saturday. That's it. So our speakers today will be Mike, which Kasarajan, I think is his first name. This I don't know who this person is. I think that's John Doe. We will see. And I will end the day with the front end news stuff. So I had this CFP slide for DevCon, but we will be past the date, so I need to change that. And this is the slide where the sponsor can speak, so I will invite them, and then after that, I will do the community updates. Maybe I should do it before, I don't know, I will see. So community updates is what happened basically around the front-end community in Mauritius. So we built the RGP, rebuilt it. It was a big effort by everyone. It's a lot of work to redo all of the awesome stuff that Nicola did last time. We learned from that, and now we have a very streamlined flow, and it's all powered by directors. We had some very crazy server action to do where we must retrieve the profile picture of the person who is logging in. This is done by server action, and we had fun time debugging this. So big thanks to Neil for helping on that. I think Nicola also did this with the Supabase functions, but he did it by himself, so we didn't know the pain that he went through. Now we know. So yeah, this is a very nice piece of code that we run. So basically, when you log in, you don't get your profile picture, so we need to go and fetch it, and then download it, and then insert it into a database. So some nice code there. We have Sentry logging on frontend.mu. So every time there's a JavaScript error, it is logged, and we can see it in the logs, and that will help us improve errors that we don't necessarily see. So thanks, Uzel, for suggesting and sending a PR for that. Derek and Zane sent a lot of style fixes to the website. So a lot of small fixes here and there that that they saw and they thought it could be improved, and they sent the PR. So that's great, and I think all of them are merged. Raphael sent a PR for the add to calendar button. So now on a meetup, you can click the add to calendar button, and it will actually add it to your calendar, be it Gmail or Apple or Outlook or whatever. That's merged. I added some playwright tests, which are currently failing. So if someone wants to help fix that, we can do that. But the base is there. We have some tests now. Abdallah sent a PR to add the entrepreneur option to the RGP form. So when you RGP, you could choose student or student, manager, designer, whatever. And now there's also an entrepreneur option in that list. So these are all contributions from the community to make our website grow and be better. So that's great. And there's also, so yeah, as you can see, the activity early 2024 is quite a lot. So that's very encouraging. And these are the stuff that we are working on. So the ticketing and attendance stuff led by Cedric. I think we will have already done it by on that day. So maybe it should be changed to green or something. We have an open issue about presentation decks. So some way that people can access the slides of presenters after the event on the website itself. So maybe if someone wants to work on that, we can do that. Live streaming equipment. So here I will the issue that I showed earlier. And of course, if someone is interested to sponsor the next meetup, etc., so get in touch. We are here to help. Right. So that was the intro. I think it feels a bit long, so I might cut down some of it. I don't know. It might be too much for an intro. And then I will let the other speakers go ahead, and then later on I will resume the front-end news presentation, which is now here. So let's go on with that.
I think the intro is good. I mean, it's an event, you put a lot of effort into it. Kushal as well does.
Yeah.
And we need to. It's good to tell people that there's the meetups that are getting organized, and also there's a lot of effort being brought onto the website and all that. So there's activity there. So to encourage maybe more people to get
So
into
how
that.
long did that take? Was it like 10 minutes? Or more?
Maybe a bit more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 13 minutes, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So if we account for the sponsor as well, who's going to speak in that segment, it might be like 25 minutes for the intro.
It's totally
Yeah, I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It lets
also,
people get into the mood and everything, you know, before the first presentation and all that.
Yes. And also, I think the sponsor will speak in the middle of my intro, because I think that's why I put the community updates after, so that it doesn't feel like one big discourse. There's a change in speaker, and then it feels fresher. So I think that might help. Okay, so I will now talk about the front-end news. I think I need to introduce myself somewhere. I forgot to add that slide, so I will add that. But yeah, this is the big news, the big first news. So jQuery 4 has been released. We have these changes. It's not like a big revolutionary change. It feels like a rewrite. They actually rewrote the source in year 6. And then most of the stuff work exactly the same. IE 11 is not supported anymore. Some APIs that are deprecated have been removed.
Sorry, son. I think IE 11 is supported. All the previous versions are not. So there's still an IE supported, which is IE 11.
Right. So less than 11 is not supported. You're correct. Okay, thanks. And then the build is smaller. If that matters. I think it matters because a lot of websites load jQuery. So just a few kilobytes smaller will make a big difference on the internet.
It's very sustainable. Lot less power used overall worldwide, thanks to them.
Yes. Actually, big difference in terms of power or carbon usage. Maybe someone should do the calculation. And yeah, that's the logo, as you know, jQuery, write less, do more. It didn't change. And also we have React 19, write more, do less, which is being released. So that's a joke, of course. It's actually, you don't actually write more, which is nice. So the good news is that these stuff, so React has a compiler now, which it didn't have before. Svelte, Vue, all of them have compilers, which is why they can read the code and optimize it ahead of time. React didn't have that, so that's why you had to use Footgun, use Memo, use callback, etc. So with the React compiler, you actually don't have to do that anymore, which is pretty nice. They are improving. Them few like half a decade, but they're getting there. So they have actions, which used to be called server actions, but now it's been renamed to just actions because it can do a bit more. So this is basically where you define something on your JavaScript code, but it will actually run on the server. They have a standardized way of doing that now, which is nice. Assist loading, I'm not sure what it does. It's something about suspense. Maybe I should read about that before the presentation. And React itself can do document metadata now, which is this is quite nice because I think in Vue we use we use a function that's called useHead to do that, or some metadata function. Or in React, I think you had something that's called helmet, React helmet to do that. But now you can actually do it in any component, and it will hoist it to the document head section. So yeah, that's a nice change. So yeah, that's React 19, and they have a nice blog post that you can read about it. I had the link somewhere. I think it's here. Yeah. No, that's not the link. So I should add the link. But yeah, they have a blog post where they show what they've been working on and what's new. All right. So next news is from Apple News. They actually turned off add to home functionality. So previously they were really going ahead with supporting PWAs, which was extremely good news. But unfortunately, they rolled back that. So yeah, and they actually blamed the EU, European Union, because of some regulations. They are not able to do add to home anymore, which is very weird. But they blame the EU and then roll back PWA. But we all know why they do it. So there's no competition for the App Store. So that's very sad. There are some discussions about removing Apple from the W3C, because why should they be able to dictate where the web goes if they are not going to actually support it?
They're actually killing the web.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. So that's Apple News. So there's a new logo. Sudo has a new logo. This is true. This is not troll. Okay. So if you see this logo somewhere, this is the Sudo logo.
What is Sudo, by the way?
Sudo is super user do. It's the
okay. The Linux.
The Linux command sudo. It has a logo now. So yep, if you want to do something forcefully, you can use that. I'm not sure why it's a sandwich. I don't know if it comes from the joke sudo go make me a sandwich, but it is a sandwich. So yeah, some people might get offended by that.
I don't see how, but okay.
Oh, because it's a very, like, you ask for your girlfriend to make you a sandwich.
Oh, okay, no, yeah.
And then you say, sudo go make me a sandwich, and then you get the sandwich.
I see. Okay.
Yes. Next news, Bod is now Gemini. Bod it's not a great name. Gemini, I don't know. It's
not a great tool either.
Just a name. Yeah, so Gemini is much better. It's much faster actually, and it's already available, so that's great. It does image generation. This picture actually for the keyboard corner was generated using Gemini, which is really nice. I actually should put something about the keyboard in the intro. I forgot about that completely.
Oh, right. Also, was it Gemini like the base one or the paid one? Like the advanced one?
Free one.
Oh, the free one does image generation. Okay, that's a great point for them.
It used to do.
Okay.
But now it has been cancelled because of this. It was generating pictures that were offending everyone while it was trying to make everyone happy. So they had to stop image generation. This picture is actually from a CNN article. So yeah, it's not generating images anymore. It's on pause. There's actually an apology blog post by Google we got it wrong, we'll do better. It was published a few days ago. So yeah, I guess it's very powerful. And speaking of powerful, there's OpenAI Sora, which came out, which is extremely epic. I think I have a link here. So then in the meetup, I will go like spend 1 minute on this and show the stuff. I think I should maybe ask people who has never heard of this, because those who have seen it, but those who haven't will be extremely impressed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will go a bit on Sora and show what has been happening in that world. And then about conferences, so the Vue.js conference, the Vue.js Amsterdam conference happened a few days ago. The whole conference is already available on YouTube, and it was I watched most of it. It was amazing content, especially for people who like Vue and Vite and Next. There was a lot of updates, a lot of new stuff released, and it's like great time to be in the Vue community. So if you are interested in Vue, you should check out the VODs on YouTube under the Vue.js Amsterdam YouTube channel itself. Then the next conf is coming up for people who care about Next.js and React, and they actually have a really cool badge that that we want to build as well. So it looks like this. Yeah, so this is really cool stuff, and you can actually like play with it, bounce it. So if someone knows how to build this, get in touch, because this is what we want to do for the meetups as well. Really
I don't know
nice stuff.
if the stream can hear all the sound I'm playing from time to time. I guess you do.
No. Yeah, but yeah, this is really cool. Maybe I can paste this link in the chat so that you can see it in the full 60 FPS glory, because I think on stream it's a bit broken. But yeah, really nice stuff. This is what we want to do. So yeah. And so if we move on from here, there's a new editor in town. It's called Zed. It's made by the creators of Atom. For those who remember Atom, it was created from a bit of history. It was created from a team at GitHub who wanted to build an editor. Atom was actually the reason Electron was built. Electron branched off. Atom died. And now that team is creating Zed. It's built with Rust. It's extremely fast. For now, it's macOS only. But I've used it. I've not switched from VS Code to it yet, but it's very interesting. The speed is impressive. Sometimes if you need to look for files in very, very large code bases, it's almost instant. So I use it for that purpose for now, but it's nice. And also they have a very interesting way of writing blog posts on their website. So on Dead Industries. So this is, if you are into reading the inner workings of that company, it's very cool. They write their blog posts like stories and conversations.
Nice.
Between them. So yeah, it's a very interesting way of interacting with a tech company. Yeah, so that's Dead.
One small thing about Zed. Well, I don't know if that's going to be interesting to the audience, but do you know Theo, right?
Yes.
Theo. He actually has a video where he mentions that the Zed team came to his place to fix some kind of scrolling lag issue that was happening only in his device. Turns out he has an M-chip MacBook Pro, and there was some kind of hardware that flies above my head. They actually fixed that in his living room, essentially. So if you find the video, maybe you'll find the content in there, and yeah. I'll try to send you the link.
I doubt they will fly to Mauritius, but yeah.
No,
Interesting.
I mean
I
this
have the
this
M
fun
chip as
part
well.
is yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Jules I think sent
Right.
the
And
video.
then we have another new tool. Yeah, I think he sent it.
Yeah, it's gonna be that video. I just saw the preview.
Yeah. So there's a new tool, Git Butler. Nice. And this, I think we have a link here. So this is for people who don't like to use Git in the terminal. So it's pretty nice. You can have branches, manage them with a drag and drop interface. It will generate your commit messages for you. And like if you want to revert a commit, or you have already created a branch or a PR and you want to extract, which we know as cherry picking stuff from it, it makes that stuff very easy and very pain free. So maybe you should check it out. I think it's free and it's available on all platforms. All platforms that matter apparently in the Windows here. Yeah, actually, there is a Windows here on Open Beta. So yeah, Git Butler, pretty nice. Next, Warp, the cool terminal is now available on Linux as well, so you can try it. I've been using Warp ever since it was available. I think it's really nice. I especially like the AI feature. Usually some AI stuff are very useless, but this one is actually useful. Maybe here I can show like some Docker Compose shit where you load the file
Yeah.
and you read the logs, but you don't know what to type. It will probably figure it out. So I can think about that. Next is Sonnet Write, which is pretty cool tool for people who like to write. Maybe I can show a demo right now. So it looks like this. Basically, it's just a blank page, and then you can write stuff, and whatever you write just fades away, like this. It just fades away. And there's some research behind this which shows that when you write this way, it helps you focus on just writing and not editing what you just wrote. And after you've written everything here, you can just download it here, and then you edit it later. But this is just for writing, and this works offline. This works in your browser. It's not sending anything anywhere. So yeah, it's a pretty cool tool for people who just want to put their thoughts down.
Very cool.
I thought this was worth sharing. I think there's a dark mode that I just found out. I didn't see it before, so that's nice.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, next, JSR is here. So JSR is the JavaScript registry. They advertise themselves as a superset of NPM, but made for ESM only packages, and they handle the type generation. So yeah, so they've been very clear that they are not competing with NPM. They are actually a superset of NPM. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Apparently, it works with all the runtimes, and even workers, I think. So yeah, pretty cool.
But
I'm not sure what it means for front-end developers yet.
They say superset, but they're actually like a side subset, if that makes sense. Like they have less packages than NPM.
Yes. All NPM packages are not in JSR.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not yes, it's a subset of the packages, but it's yeah, I guess they should have used the word subset, but subset doesn't quite cut it.
It's less cool than superset.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, so I think it's in private beta right now. I have access somehow.
Nice.
I requested it. I got access yesterday, so I can use it. But yeah, it's nice that you can have this one. Actually, I have no idea what it does exactly or how to use it. I need to find out more because people
Yeah,
will have questions.
for sure.
Um, and Go 122 was released. I think Mike said that. And I'm not sure what they have new. Yeah, I think they have the routing thing built in now.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh, but I think I will just mention that Mike already spoke about that because I'm not going to go into go details.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all the news. Yep, that's all the news. Uh, I'm not sure if I missed something important that happened in the past 2 months here. So if there's anything, just let me know. I will add it here. And that's it. What do you think about the length of the
So
session?
I don't know how long it has been actually, because like it was all in one stream and all that. But to me, it was really cool. So I don't mind because there's a lot of updates and none of them seem long. So
Yeah.
it's not just about the length of the whole thing, but the rhythm is so good that even if it's slightly longer than a usual session, it's all good.
Yeah, I think it should feel not boring because there's a lot of things happening every few seconds. So that should feel very interesting to the audience. And I don't want it to be too long because I want there's actually your session right after the quiz.
Oh, right,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
so we need to save some time for that. I need to do that to put that in the intro as well. That we will have a giveaway.
Yeah.
We actually have a conference ticket to give away.
Whoa,
The
no pressure.
the GS Nation conference is offering a ticket again.
Wow.
So the one that actually that I attended last time,
Mm-hmm.
thanks to Nicola for gifting this. So yeah, they actually reached out and wanted to partner with us, and they offered to give away 2 tickets, so we can raffle those. Now this doesn't include the plane ticket.
Yeah.
It includes the conference ticket, so we'll see how we can make that happen. I'm not going this time, unfortunately. Uh, I don't know. Maybe I will, but probably not. So yeah, we have two tickets, and we have the JetBrains license. I think we have 2 of those to give away as well.
Yeah.
And what else? I think that's it. We I will probably announce the front end conference, but we will see because I have a meeting tomorrow with MDX,
Okay.
and after that I will decide if I should announce it or not. But we have already secured a way to receive funding properly through a
Wow.
registered company.
Amazing.
They have an account in it and everything, so everything will be very clean. Um, and yeah, that was the biggest hurdle. We already have a location, and it's just a matter of deciding the date and getting sponsors.
Amazing. You've heard it first here on the Twitch channel. But yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
those insights. And thanks for the presentation. I mean, it's super interesting. I'm curious how you're gonna manage the questions from all of those topics, but I'll leave that to you.
I don't. Yeah, I don't mind taking questions in the middle of the presentation because, like, all of this is very clear in my head, so I won't get sidetracked.
Yeah,
And I don't mind talking about a specific topic if there's a question.
that's
That's
something.
the whole point.
Yeah, it might slow down the rhythm though. So yeah.
True.
So maybe take
Yeah.
like one,
So,
two questions and short answers, something like this.
yeah. Maybe you can bring your Q&A tool and we use it.
I can check if I can adapt the interface, but yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see.
it can be just black, and we just ask them to go to a URL to
Yeah,
to
I just need to
basically
build that part. Like it's a small thing. I can build it during the meetup. Actually, I can think of that. We can try so it's
Yeah.
ready for your presentation at the end. Yeah.
All right, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think there's one more thing that I wanted to say, but now I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
No worries. Surprise for Saturday.
Yeah, I can answer the question now. How did they send the probe to? How did Australia send to the sun?
Oh,
So yeah, they sent it at night.
okay. Interesting. Thanks, son.
So now Derek has all his answers revealed.
Derek, you're now fully complete. Oh, Derek will have to leave early Saturday, sadly. So no tickets for you. Sadly.
Yeah. So he will go first on Saturday, and then probably Kasarajan,
Yeah.
and then Mike, and then we will have lunch, and then I will do the fourth presentation.
Okay, cool. That sounds like a great meetup.
Yeah, hopefully. So I think that's it. I will see you guys at the meetup on Saturday, and hopefully the weather is good and we can all have good fun and have good food. Maybe we'll plan a June movie segment afterwards. I don't know.
June,
Right, keyboard corner. Good point. So I think we will do it during the lunch and maybe before the meetup, like because it will already be like there. But mostly during the lunch and after the quiz, we can have like some 15 minutes during the lunch and then after the quiz. I don't know how many keyboards we will have. If I know we will have two from me, one from Cedric, one from Zane, one from Mike. I think Derek has one as well. So, Mike, you're supposed to bring your keyboards, by the way. I don't know if you remember. So I think 6 or 7 keyboards we will have minimum. So that should be pretty good already. So anything else we get is bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have the exact same. So
I think so. Brown keys?
Yeah.
Brown switches? Yeah. Just remove
probably.
one key and you see it's probably brown or red. Hopefully not blue.
It's brown. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the exact same one.
All right. So it can be on the sides and guard the other keyboards. So yeah, that should be fun. And I have a Logitech one that I will bring as well. And I think we probably should have one laptop there that with a USB cable that we can just connect the keyboard if someone wants to try. Zane will be our bouncer on that day, so he will guard the keyboards.
Okay.
And he will be the expert as well. So if there's any keyboard related question, people can ask him. I think Mike can help as well because he is also a keyboard nerd. He will be able to answer keyboard questions.
Very cool.
I don't really know. I just like the way it feels when you type. So yeah, that should be fun. I think we should like let people take pictures next to the keyboards. It should be fun. It should look good. uh, and it will always be at the front so that we see all the keyboards so that it's safe. We don't want to lose any keyboards.
Yeah.
I was thinking if we should have some kind of sticker to put like under the keyboard to show whose keyboard it is. I don't know.
Maybe for you and me, yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, for us, it's easy. We can just like swap a key,
Yeah.
and we will know which one it is. But yeah, I think I will ask Zane to keep a list of who is coming with a keyboard and which keyboard, so that we can have some kind of inventory data. Strands, are you coming and are you bringing a keyboard?
Also, Derek, the question is no.
Can I bring Logitech? Yeah, I mean, if it looks wired and like ugly, like if it looks unique, you can bring it.
If you have lubed something in the keyboard, like customize anything, I have modified the one up top.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't want to use that again. It's super hard compared to even brown keys. Yeah.
Yeah, Cedric is saying
Nice.
it's lubed and hard, so I don't know where this is going.
Not in the same sentence. Don't take the screen recording and cut it. If you clip it, it's gonna be fine, I guess. Yeah.
Would be nice to have some old IBM keyboards there.
Oh yeah,
I think Joran said he will bring some. I don't know if he's coming, but it would be nice to see some of these like epic old keyboards because they were actually really nice. I don't think I have mine anymore.
I want to try
so yeah,
one.
It should be nice. And I think it would be a very like unique opportunity to have a lot of different switches on the same table so you can compare them, because usually you have one and then you have to remember the feeling and try something else some another day, but to have all of them on the same table is going to make you like really know what you like. And I don't know if we can have some typing competitions, like we load monkey type on some laptop and then we get two people to like you pick your weapon and you go in the battle. So everyone picks a keyboard and then they can choose to battle. That could be nice because it doesn't require any setup. You just plug the keyboard and go for it.
I mean, I'm definitely out of that competition. Everyone sees me typing on every stream. So, yeah. But yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe
and yellow switches, yes. I'll try these.
Okay. I heard I will like pink switches.
Okay.
But I haven't tried them, so we'll see if there's some. And yeah, that's it. So, Mike, I think we should like. I will try to keep my presentations quite short. I think yours, in terms of length, is fine. I don't know about Derek or Kasarajan. I will speak to them, but we will try to like keep the presentations very short and interesting. It's just the purpose is to get the people curious about what we're showing. It's not to do a tutorial so that they know the stuff when they leave. It's just to get them curious. And then they can find out later about them. And also then we get shorter presentations, people are not bored, and we have more time for interactions.
Very cool. Son,
I remembered what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
The last thing. So I've submitted my 2 call for papers for developers conference. So the first one will be the lightning talks, in which we have a pretty sick lineup. I think I will have a slide for that. But yeah, that's going to be nice. And then there will be another presentation by me, which will be about which is called the front-end career path.
Nice.
Where I will talk about a front-end career path, basically from start to where you can end up, or what are the different paths you can go, what should you do along the way in an ideal world, and how to tailor it to your personality. So I think that should be interesting.
That would be interesting to
and-
any HR department as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I will try. I'm not sure how I will make it interesting to developers because it naturally does not include much live coding, which I like to do. So I will see how I can include some, or maybe, oh, I don't know if I should to do a third presentation which includes coding, but I don't think it will get approved because I already have two.
You can keep it for the
So-
conference.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. I think I shared everything and my two presentations already. So we should have a nice meetup on Saturday.
Very cool. Thanks a lot, Sun. Sun, if you have 5 more minutes, chat as well.
Yep.
We'll do a test of the quiz, and I'll explain in a
Alright.
second the changes that I brought to the quiz.
So I stop streaming.
Yep, that's good.
Might become
If you want, you can stay on the call. I would just
sure.
change the overlay back to in progress, and then I will shrink that, minimize. So yeah, Saturday, guys, see you there. Okay, quiz. Let me put the chat down here. It's a couple of changes. I've simplified a little bit, so if you have used it before, I think very few have, like if you prepare, it goes directly to the AI one because that's what we're going to use in most cases. There you can add themes and it's going to focus on the latest one you have added. This is me just nerding about my own stuff, I guess. Sun, any themes you would like to try?
yeah, sci-fi TV show. Let's go.
Sci-fi TV shows. And let me add LangChain, at least in the themes, because someone is complaining. Eventually, man, eventually. So I'm not gonna showcase that now. I think I'm gonna go with just 5 questions, but essentially each theme or each group of 5 questions that we have is going to be 1 query. So in any case, if we have 20 questions, it's going to send like 4 groups. So 4 different queries to the GPT API. And so the generation will take between sometimes 15 seconds to 30 seconds. But yeah, so that's one of the cool things. I've made some changes to the requested count is not what? Oops. I didn't encounter that error, so that's interesting. Oh, I guess it's a front-end thing. Always batches of 5. Yeah, pretty much. Although I think this time it did a split because, yeah, I didn't think of that combination. Yeah, demo effect. But basically here it's generating 2 batches of 5 questions. And it should be done very soon, unless it's suffering from demo effects again. But yeah, so it's done. We know we have 5 questions, so that I can still show that on screen, right? If I want to show the questions, then if I'm showing that on the monitor or projector, I would not click that, you know, but now I can check that off screen. You can see the theme, you can see the question count and all that, the right answer as usual. Now I'm gonna hide that again, so you have seen nothing. I'm gonna finalize. I've extended that area. It's not pretty, but it can accommodate for many players. And this, so the QR code and all that was in the game night platform. So essentially we were loading the game night, which was the main site, and inside we had an iframe. So now I've ported some of those good stuff into the game itself. So when it's not in an iframe, it knows. It will show the QR code here and the basic copy link, etc. I can paste that in the chat so you can have access to it. Oh, it didn't take the whole URL with the code. Interesting. But yeah, that's the idea. So if you were to take your phone and scan that, it would load just one website, web app. So you won't have to load a website and then load something in an iframe, which I think caused a lot of the disconnection issues, but we'll see. Remove player and all that, this is the usual. We have not strands, we have Derek, we have the mic. Don't drop it. So if you guys are ready, we're gonna give it a try. We have the mic twice. Let's remove one. Ooh, interesting bug. Interesting bug. How is that computed? Let's just see the index. Which part of it is doing that? Yeah, no, it's not. It's something else, I guess. Anyways. Oh, then I need to... Yeah, I still need to hide that. Don't do that at home. Display on for now. Mike, I'm gonna remove both of them because I don't have a way to identify them yet. I should add a date or something. I'll let you join again and then we can start. Join on Chrome ideally. I always forget to inform people of that. Interesting. Oh, while you join, I'm gonna... Where's the music? Music, are you gone? Spotify. Coming. Okay, sure. No worries. Some music like this. Jackson, the mic V2. Okay, let's start. Right, here it's my screen as a game master. So I'm gonna open the public screen, which is there. This is somehow responsive. You can play it on your phone, right? You call the get next question here and it displays there. Note that in this game, it's configured so that you don't see the answer, so you're in the suspense as much as the audience. Alright. Do this. Okay. First question coming up. Well, I guess you have seen the question, so if you were attentive, maybe you know the answers already. But yeah. So we have 10 questions, I think, now. Oh no. Out of 5. Okay, cool. Hey, son. It's your team. You did right. Oh, the score is really tight. Good job, guys. Next question. Who is the main character in Doctor Who? Good question or not? Good job, Strayans. Sun still in the lead. Next question coming up. Faster to answer gains more points. Yes, faster with the right answer gains more points. Which show features a spaceship named Serenity? We might have a change in the score now. Oh, the scoreboard has changed. Not by a lot, but it has changed. Strands takes the lead. Fourth question coming up. Oh, Mike, maybe you're at a disadvantage because you didn't know all the rules. Maybe I should definitely remind the rules to people there. What is the primary setting of the expense? Okay, an asteroid belt. Cool. Final question. I hope you guys are ready because it's coming now. And only Mike scored on that one. Very cool. You're really close to Sun. Not the Sun, but you're really close to Sun. You get what I mean, right? Okay, Strand still in the lead. Derek, for the beauty of the game, just get a 300 on that one. Final question coming up. Interesting. In Star Trek The Next Generation, who is the captain of the USS Enterprise? Jean-Luc Picard. What? Okay, so no one got that right. And Strands, let's clap for Strands. Strands, you have won. So this is a screen I will have to modify to get a scoreboard. But yeah, you won. Very good. And Tiara, I am Strands. Well, was wrong. Yeah. Or maybe GBD got it wrong, I don't know. But yeah, essentially. Very good, guys. Thanks a lot for participating. Sun, is there a streamer you want to raid since you're still on the call? How did I win this? A bit of luck and great general knowledge, or nerd general knowledge. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, you did great.
I don't know any streamers, so whatever you pick.
Okay, sure. Let's go to the directory. Switch directory. No, no. Strands, no. we tend to see people with not a lot of loving surface on them. Let's just say that. So let's go make some noise on the streamer's kind of quiet stream. Do you guys feel like some Python could be a candidate? Rust and Tori. Who's curious about Rust and Tori? Also says thick and juicy, so maybe, I don't know, you guys would like that. Just saying. Angel emoji. Oh, and interesting keyboard, by the way, so how about this one? So that's the candidate number 1. Chase me to the moon, devlog. Nice interface, but you're not coding or anything. Their stream is back. Exceptionally, let's go see some Rust. Let's go see some Rust. Hello, we are coming. So if you guys can try to use the raid emoji, I don't know if any of you have access to it. Maybe there's been a change and you have access to basic emojis. I don't know. If you have them, use them. But yeah, we're gonna raid. Oh, we can't hear what he's saying, but he's gonna get surprised. Okay, viewers already. 5 viewers going over there. Thanks for joining. See you Saturday and see you Monday for the next stream. Bye bye. Bye, son.
I after this gets set. Radio 55, thank you very much. How's it going, everyone? How we doing? Thanks to the Rayman. Cool keyboard. Thanks very much, Mr. Sunshine. It is a Ultimate Hacker keyboard from Hungary, and it's yeah, love it, man. Great. Get it. Great. Hey, how's it going? Thanks very much for that. I've been off stream for a while, off Twitch for a while, so it's nice to see some people in here. I'll give you guys a little show, but I'll show you guys what I'm working on. This